Hello and welcome back to another Scratch Night VIVA. What's the first question?
Yes, this is week 3 of the Scratch Night Vivas. The first question is basically a brief explanation of what we've done this week for our Scratch Night lessons. We just we just ran through the script. We were getting used to, fitting in the stage directions with the scene. Everybody's just done a pretty good job learning their lines. Me personally, I've got to learn my lines a bit better towards the end, especially when I've got more of like the monologue style format towards the end as well. But I've got the most lines, so it's difficult. Right. What about you guys? What's the brief explanation of what we've done a week?
So we first started off in the first lesson. We did some improv games. I think one of the first ones we did was like a sentence game, and we had to start each letter. We went in alphabetical order, and we still sort of stood in a line, and we had to sort of make a sentence that made sense from one to the next alphabet. I don't know how best to describe it. Anyway, and it was a fun game, of course. And I didn't do that well particularly. But anyone else got anything to say about what we did today?
Play a warm-up game called 7 Levels of Tension.
Yeah, to add to that, we walked around the space, and Danny, that's our director, would shout out a level of tension, and basically level of tension would represent a certain theme. So level 2 would be more of like a chillaxed California dude sort of walk, just going about his day. And level 7 will be like a madman running around the streets losing his mind, something like that. What do you think about this week, Barnett?
Well, we pretty much gone over everything.
Alright.
So move on to the next question, I'll say something.
Okay, what specific techniques, skills have you acquired this week?
Okay. I don't really know if I picked up any techniques, to be honest, because we were just going.
Right, come on, mate.
I think I was very surprised myself that I remember my lines, because I didn't actually go over it as much as I could have, and I feel like I'm getting better at lining.
That's good, yeah, and you're confident to go up with that as well.
Yeah. So I guess that can be kind of a technique that I'm getting better at.
Yeah. What about you, Tina?
What was the question?
It was, what specific techniques and skills have you acquired this week for Scratch Night?
What's the next question?
Right.
Has anyone else?
I think I picked up I think my pacing improves, and also being proactive when standing on the stage. So not just standing in the same spot, like looking at the floor, waiting for the next line. I feel like it's something I still did that though. I feel like it's something we've all got to work on, in the sense that Danny was right about saying we need to make the scene seem a bit more alive, because it's meant to be a naturalistic piece. So in real life, people are just going to be standing around waiting to say their piece. Yeah. Has anything else got anything I want to say? This question.
For skills that you've acquired.
Yeah, specific techniques and skills.
No, I think I've definitely acquired some more confidence skills as well. Like when it comes to the 7 levels of tension, or sort of I've learned more about the 7 levels of tension. So I feel like even though I did research on it last year, I'm sort of more aware of how you would actually act it out. For example, a level 1 would be really sort of quite sort of, I guess, quiet, but sort of just very relaxed sort of thing. And then, for example, maybe level 6 is quite fast and action paced. So I think I've developed skills and tensions when acting.
The Dash, you got anything?
Yeah.
Have you got any techniques?
Because we've all got to speak for at least 5 minutes. That's the thing. Otherwise, this is invalid. Or you simply won't get any marks. Even though you're in the video, you won't get any marks.
So what techniques to pick up, like a skill?
Because we can't force you to speak.
The skill of improvisation.
Okay.
In what way?
While you're waiting for a line, not standing still and moving about about and acting like it's normal.
Okay,
Have you said anything, James, or do you want to move on?
Yeah, I just talked about what I said at the start was like similar to what Dash said about just being more proactive when moving around the space and just making sure that we just try and make it feel more realistic and like that we actually had a part in it.
Yeah, to be fair, I feel like I might got better at that because when we first did it, I was just standing still, but I am moving about a bit more now. And
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So.
Right, do you have anything you want to say, Tina?
Yeah, I think I improved on different different tension of levels.
Yeah, different levels
Yeah.
of tension.
Yeah, different levels of tension. It's like I think you need to be more quick react. You need to react quick and yeah.
Yeah.
You mean like higher up the levels you go? Is that what you mean?
What do you guys want to move on?
Yeah, sure. Let's go to the next question then. I'm not going too bad for time as well. As long as we all beat 5 minutes, it's anything. Because like if you don't, you won't get marks. So yeah. How has your independent research benefited your learning this week?
Sorry, what was the question?
How has your independent research benefited your learning this week? I'll start this one actually. I'll say over the half term, I basically just practiced my lines. I tried to look up actually performances on yesterday, but sadly there's not really much out there because it was part of a Connections Festival. So usually not a lot of people will be inspired to go away and make videos like people do for Shakespeare all the time. But one other thing that I did as well was I read through the play about 3 times, so I've got quite a good understanding of the play, and I kind of understand the characters more, so I know more how Tim, that's my character, would interact with them in the art scene.
I think for me personally as well, like sort of the line learning, the independent research, that has definitely helped me like at home just practicing those lines over and over again to sort of help more of the sort of fluidity, is that the right word? Just to make it all seem more natural. I mean obviously it's something I need to work on a lot more, but I mean like it has benefited me like trying to learn those lines at home, compared to if I wasn't learning them. So yeah.
I think for me, line learning as well, and I've just got more confident in my character and got a bit of a better understanding.
What about you, Daj?
No.
Right, so you didn't, your independent research didn't benefit you?
No, not really.
Oh, alright. Anything for you, Tina? Like, do you know any research tips and background that you thought benefited you?
Yeah, I'll say line learning as well.
Oh, actually, yeah, learning the lines, that's research. There you go. Yep, learning the lines.
Okay,
That
yeah.
helped.
What are your areas of development?
Well, I am moving around more, but I feel like there are times still when I'm just standing still and not knowing what to do, and deciding whether I'm going to go down and sit down on the chair or not. So that's something I need to work on. Just
Yeah.
be confident with what I'm going to do.
Or make it less obvious that
Yeah.
you're acting.
I think though,
Yeah.
what we should do is, even though it will be improv, have a direct plan in mind of what we're actually going to do to move around stage here, make it more natural. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just look around and pretending that I'm moving beer bottles around. I'll be doing stuff that's just on the stage, messing around, because that's what my character Tim does. He's a bit of an idiot, and I'm meant to be high and drunk in this scene. So I'm just meant to be an idiot essentially. So I've just been doing stuff around, messing up my own place, that sort of thing. And then what I'm going to do is once I have a better understanding of the lines and I can, just perform better and just know it like that, then I can entwine this into my performance, which I'm looking forward to doing. But other areas of development, I just need to get my line sorted and just more confidence and energy in myself and in my character, because I can seem a bit tired or a bit lazy in scene, which the audience won't know because they can think that's just how the actor's interpreted the character.
Yeah.
But it's not how I would be comfortable accepting that. That's 100% for me.
Yeah, I think for my sort of area of development, it really is sort of like learning those lines. I know I've sort of touched on this before, but I mean, I just sort of need to go over them even more because I need to get this right because we've only got like less than 2 weeks now. So I just think it's really important that I sort of understand this bit very quick, and I hope that by next week that I will sort of know all these lines off by heart, and not use any sort of script, any sort of book or anything like that. I just want to know them all. I just want to know them all. I want it to be a good show. So yeah, that's my main goal. That's my main goal, area of development.
Tina, you got anything?
What, have you got anything?
I've already said something.
Oh, sorry.
Did you hear that? Well, I had to. Did they ask anyone?
So you were moving on, or anyone
Yeah,
else?
does anything else, has anyone else got anything they want to say about areas development?
I guess at some points maybe for me projection because like I can do that, but there are other parts where I'm just like not 100%. I feel like
Yeah.
I used
Yeah.
to be.
You
I'm going
definitely
100.
can't be loud.
Yeah, need to go. Yeah, okay. I need to go 100%.
Yeah.
I think maybe like for me, it's sort of moving around the stage, let's say, I just need to sort of make sure that I'm more responsive. When Laura, the character Laura, says hello, I need to sort of get there quicker to make sure that the scene makes sense. So I think that's something I need to work on as well.
Okay, cool. So, how will you ensure to work on these? But we have covered that since then. We've said it's going to be
Well,
more.
how do we work on these?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to keep going through it, and I just got to apply them. So when I'm doing it, and then eventually just be natural.
Yeah, just sort of carry on learning those lines each day, you know, maybe setting yourself a goal of, I don't know, 15 minutes a day, you know, it's better than nothing, or even more if I couldn't get it. Just sort of going over every day, because obviously practice makes perfect, and I think that's how I could possibly achieve that. Yeah, with the whole thing about the fluidity and the responsiveness to act on stage, I just need to sort of remember that bit, so I might just highlight, you know, do a bit of stage direction, move to that side. Yeah, that's what I might do.
For me, it's going to be just trial and error in the sense that I'm actually going to have to keep practicing it. It's going to be quite difficult in the sense that because there's so many of us in the scene, it's not the same as like if it was say it was a dialogue and it was just you're line straight after, so you can just follow the sequence of lines. But for this, I'm just going to have to look at what the other people in the group do at that exact moment, and that's how I let them know what my line is, as well as just practicing and making sure I can say in a way that I'm comfortable with and I feel like best gives off the energy that Tim would have within this scene.
Yeah. Okay.
And that is us done with questions, actually. So, what time are we on? Because we have to talk for a certain amount of time.
13 minutes, so we can talk about something else as well.
13. Right.
13.
Right, Luke and Tina, is there anything you guys want to say about about like how to ensure it's working? Do you want to see the question? How we're all meant to be 5 minutes, I don't know usually.
Can I have a look?
Yeah, sure, mate.
So, what other like independent research benefited your learning this week? I mean, okay, so I haven't actually done it yet, but I could like read the play that I bought, Boys by Ella Hickson, obviously. I could read that and sort of just read it through, and maybe I can just sort of like get more of the backstory of the characters, so that I can act more like professionally, I guess, and just sort of be more in character. So yeah, that's something I could also do. Just go through the whole book really, and I could read it more than once if I need to. So
yeah, I would recommend that actually. So I felt like when I first when we last practiced it before half term, the week before we had our what's the week called? Careers
Careers
Week.
Week,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it. I was a bit unsure because, of course, it was only our second week, so we would just run through the script again. But after I've read the play I've read it about 3 times, I've got more of a clear idea in mind of my character's relationship with everybody else in the scene. Of course, we are missing like one of the key characters called Cam because he's just not relevant to the scene. But like that's just it's all about thinking about what our objective is with different characters, like what we want from them. So like in this scene, I want Benny is basically pissed my character off because he keeps. Can you turn that off, please? He keeps asking him to come over and eat, and that's Jacob's character, and he's called Benny, and he's just not interested. And there's a bit of a bad relationship between Tim and Benny because I'm not very sure after reading the play, you know that Tim's just a bit of a douchebag in the sense that he cheated on his girlfriend Laura, who's Tina's character, and he thinks it's alright essentially. Benny's not really like a snitch, but it doesn't go well with his morals, and he doesn't really like Tim as a person for that sort of stuff. Honestly, so it puts a real strain on their relationship. Within the play, but you can see that progressively as the play goes on. So yeah, that's tough.
So that definitely goes with reading the whole play, just sort of understanding the characters. So is there any like questions here that we sort of haven't really spoke about? Are we sure that there isn't anything that we've learned in the Scratch Night this week? Like considering not just, rehearsal, but also improvisations and such.
But I don't really think we've learned that much because we're just going over what we're going to do.
Yeah, I feel like we learned quite a lot in the first week because this is a very bizarre group in the sense that most of us we wouldn't work with each other. Like we already have our little groups within Forge Theatre. Besides Luke and Luke, who like often work with each other, the rest of us we're all kind of like we don't work together as much. So I'm glad actually anyway that the groups ended up like this because it gives us a chance to work with other people and then like see what their views would be on the play. Overall, I quite like play wise. I actually really enjoyed the play in the sense that I found it. The pacing of it wasn't super fast in Act 1. I feel like it could have been a bit faster honestly because it did take them a while to get around to the climax, which is when I think it's Act 2 actually, when everybody's like basically riding in the streets chucking their rubbish bags out and there's like police officers and everything. It's just going crazy. But overall, I just enjoyed the play. I thought it was quite funny and easy to read, which is the main thing. Because if you get bored with just reading the play, it's so difficult to give a really good performance that will keep the audience interested.
Absolutely. Back to what you were saying for a sec about like working with other people. I think that's a really good thing. It really does help us more as performers, as sort of like just building those skills that we can work with other people, and I just think that's great, and we will need that for when we are actually in the industry. So yeah, it's a great skill. It's a great skill. Has anyone got anything else they want to cover?
How many minutes were on? Is it 18? 19. Okay.
Where'd that voice come from?
Right, I think I've played 5-minute mark.
Well, if we say other stuff, we're just going to go over what you've already said.
Well, let's just go back to the questions. Jacob, you got the questions, haven't you?
We didn't know that everybody answered all the questions, and we should do.
Did we touch on specific strengths over the week, this week, like what we thought we did particularly
Actually,
well?
we didn't even do strengths. Did we?
We didn't do the strengths and weaknesses thing. Well, we kind of did it, but we didn't say it in strengths and weaknesses.
Well, so were there any specific strengths over the week, this week, that you've learned from the Scratch Night?
I guess I did say that about line learning. I don't know, more confidence, getting more comfortable with the piece, more confident and comfortable with my character and the other characters. Because have better understanding pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
I think like sort of if we're thinking vocal expression, I think that was more of a strength than the previous weeks. I think I feel like when it came to the first few lines especially, I feel like it just sort of made more sense more how I said it. Bless me. So
Bless you.
yeah, I just feel like it just made more sense this week. I think that's the strength I've learned this week, or gained this week, I say.
Right, what about their questions? Independent research. I know you knew this and Jacob, and Luke actually said he did some as well about, well, we just line learned, didn't
Yeah,
we?
it's because
Was
like,
there- was there
I
anything
did
more?
I mean, I have searched up stuff to do
Yeah.
a little bit to do with the character, but other than that, not too much.
Just so we can get a bit of time on this. Actual Scratch Night WordPress, how's it going for you guys? Like, mine's not going too bad. My plan this weekend is actually
Well, you don't-
to do my character profile,
Yeah, same.
just get a little bit more marks from that, and then also I might just do a summary of the play as well and just whack it on my WordPress, because why not? I might get a couple marks out of it, because it's
I'll
pretty,
fix that something with
it's pretty simple.
And there's also-
Summary, probably maybe like 3-4 paragraphs, anything.
I think there's also that Katie Mitchell thing as well that we can do to benefit for next week.
I don't really know much about Kate Mitchell actually, so that's a good point. Like,
Yeah.
I know pretty much nothing about her. Besides that, she's like, she has a certain style of theatre which she created. Which
Yeah.
I can't even remember what that's called.
Yeah. I feel like for the improvisation that we did, the 7 levels of tension, I think it definitely benefited like when doing the rehearsal today, because we sort of, at moments, we have to sort of build up that tension whilst doing our rehearsals. So doing that did definitely benefit us to be more professional performers. I just wanted to add that as well.
I don't really think there's much more we can say, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to cover there, obviously,
Yeah.
because we have said all we could, you know what I mean? Like, some of us have all tried to speak for 5 minutes. We've done our part. Yeah, long story short, I feel like if you know that you've tried and you've tried to do your thing for this and you've really tried for this VIVA, then that's what you can do. And we'll just whack it on the WordPress. And if Leanne goes up to you and asks why you haven't said much, I guess you just have to find an answer. Alright.
Yeah.
Cool.
We can always try this again another time.